Good morning, welcome to Catex TV. My name is Frank Fortunato. Today is Wednesday, January 21st, 2015. If you want to follow us on Twitter, go to Catex TV. Last night in the State of the Union address, President Obama made a feisty pitch for economic populism after touting the improving economy and making the case that the government has a role in ensuring equal opportunity for all. Mr. Obama declared that the shadow of the economic crisis has passed and the State of the Union is strong. He said, at this moment, with a growing economy, shrinking deficits, bustling industry, and booming energy production, we have risen from recession freer to write our own future better than any other nation on earth. He argued that a new raft of policy proposals, which include an ambitious plan to raise taxes on wealthy Americans and financial institutions to pay for progressive priorities, favoring the middle class. He said that actually it was quite a defiant speech for the president, who seems to be now freed from the shackles of vulnerable red state Democrats who are up for re-election, many of whom lost last November, and he's looking to burnish his legacy in the final 2 years. Instead of granting Republicans their wish for a realistic compromiser chastened by the midterm elections, he's apparently setting the terms for an economic debate that could continue into the 2016 presidential race. He flashed a renewed confidence, going off script after touting the improving economy to say, "This is good news, people," and followed it with a wink. Later, when the president said he had no campaigns left to run, and some Republicans sarcastically clapped, the president shot back saying, "I know, because I won both of them." AirAsia Flight 8501 apparently climbed at an astonishing rate of 6,000 feet a minute, moments before it stalled and crashed into the Java Sea. The news of the plane's unusual ascent came a day after authorities said there was no indication of terrorism from the cockpit flight recorders. According to a New York Times story, the flight climbed at a rate of 6 times what commercial aircraft should do in the normal course of a flight. The Wall Street Journal is reporting that the storm warnings were going off in the background on the tape. According to an unnamed Indonesian aviation official, the warning alarms kept on screaming, and in the background, the pilot and co-pilot were trying to recover the planes. But what they said wasn't clear. He added that the flight data recorder also showed the storm warnings going off. The jet had turned away from its assigned flight plan en route from Surabaya to Singapore and climbed at a rate of 8,000 feet a minute. It no doubt will have been found to have stalled completely. One question is, on an Airbus, it's very hard to move out of the pattern set by the automatic pilot controls. They must have switched to alternate mode and disabled the automatic pilot so they could climb at that steep a rate, which, if that's the case, and that's found to be true, is a fairly serious pilot error. This morning in downtown Tel Aviv, a Palestinian man boarded a bus and stabbed at least 13 people, wounding some of them quite seriously, before he was chased down, shot, and arrested. Israeli police are describing it as a terror attack. The attack occurred during the rush hour after the assailant boarded the bus on Begin Road, a major thoroughfare in Tel Aviv. Eastern Montana residents are stocking up on bottled water after authorities have detected a cancer-causing component of oil, in this case benzene, in public water supplies downstream of a pipeline spill in the Yellowstone River. Scientists from the Centers for Disease Control said the benzene levels were above those recommended for long-term consumption, but don't pose a short-term risk. Some residents criticized the advisory, which came yesterday, 3 days after 50,000 gallons of oil spilled from the 12-inch Poplar Pipeline, which is owned by Wyoming-based Bridger Pipeline Company. The spill occurred about 5 miles upstream from the town. Authorities have faced a conundrum because apparently the broken pipe lies directly beneath the river, the Yellowstone River, about 50 feet from the shore, and worse yet, the river is covered in ice. They don't know quite how they're going to get to it. Ratings agency AM Best has put PaC Re's A- financial strength rating under review with negative implications. The hedge fund-backed reinsurer credit rating went down to lowercase A-. AM Best said that much of the shortfall is due to significant unrealized investment losses relating to the insurer's alternative asset strategy. Although the company has not achieved its projected premium value of best said, which is primarily due to the competitive market conditions, it has produced positive underwriting results year over year. The significant investment losses is what's dragged it down. PaC Re was set up with a $50 million investment from Validus and a large slug of capital from the hedge fund Paulson and Company. This is a very interesting situation. These reinsurers were set up so that investment income would be able to provide the main driver of the profit, while the underwriting was theoretically supposed to lag behind. And here we have an instance where it's just the opposite. And also we have another instance coming up with Third Point Re, where their underwriting profit continues to increase, but their investment gains decrease. Third Point Re's profits are going to slide on weaker investment returns. They're going to go down by about 77 to 79% over the prior year. The decline is driven by a deterioration in net investment return generated on investments by Dan Loeb's hedge fund Third Point Re. The returns are expected to come in at about 5.1 to 5.3%. Last year, they came in at about 24%. So that's a big decrease there. Meanwhile, the underwriting operation run by John Berger has actually seen a 5-percentage point improvement in their combined ratio. They're down to about 102.7%. The better combined ratio is largely due to a lower general and administrative expense ratio and proportionally higher net premiums earned, reflecting the build-out of the reinsurer's book of business. An interesting trend developing. The investment returns in these companies are sinking, and meanwhile the underwriting returns are increasing. That's the news for today. If we have any breaking news, we'll come back and tell you. Thank you for watching, and we'll see you tomorrow.